Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bloodlines and Bottomlines, the show where we explore what really happens when family, business, and identity collide. I'm your co-host, Robert Moskovits, and with me we have,
Gershon Morgulis.
that's right, Gershon, you're the co-host as well. And each week we sit down with someone brave enough to talk honestly about the messy, complicated, beautiful, and sometimes painful realities of running a family business. These are the stories behind the legacy, the stories behind the trauma, and yes, the stories behind the bottom line. Gershon, take it away with the intro.
Right. Thank you, Robert. Good to be here. And I am very excited to have Mike Levy here with us. Mike is well, I guess we'll find out more how he views himself, but I would say Mike is kind of the guy running a Long Island, but really national fence company. And he works with lots of people in the fence industry. And he also is the second generation in his family's business. So looking forward to learning a lot from you today, Mike. So thanks for agreeing to be here with us.
But hold on, Gershon. We got to give a plug though too for National Metal Industries, right, Mike?
Absolutely. Um, well, I think this whole show is going to be a plug for that, but happens to be I've
True.
been at Mike's shop,
Oh,
and
you
I don't
have?
even
Oh,
know if shop is the right word, but besides for being a distributor, they also kind of do manufacturing there. They make cool stuff that other people don't make. Plus, they really help. I don't know if Mike would agree with this. We actually had someone who was kind of a bank on a prior show. They were a money bank, but I feel like you, in a certain way, are almost like a bank to your suppliers. Like you kind of holding
mm.
on to that supply that they need, not your suppliers, to your customers. Um,
Yeah.
so if anyone needs to build a fence, contractors. I mean, we'll hear more. I don't know if do you work with individuals?
Yeah. Um, our main customer base is defense contractor, other wholesalers, but we have a walk-in trade and word of mouth. A homeowner might pop in, whether they want to do it on their own or they want maybe their landscaper or another, or need a fence company to come and do a fence for them, or maybe just a replacement part for a gate. So anything from railing, fencing, decking, the privacy slats for chain link fence. That's what we were known for over 40 years at least. Um, we started out actually as a hardware store in East New York, Brooklyn,
Wow.
and yep, that
Holy
was my
moly.
grandfather who opened that with my grandmother. They were really too sick to run the business, so my father started running it at 16 years old. Uh, he passed away 15, 16 years ago. And so I've been running the National Metal since it started in the 80s. Um, it went from a hardware store in the 80s, in the 40s to the 80s. Uh, Brooklyn just got too dangerous in East New York. We moved out to Freeport, and then we moved to Oceanside. Different things happened along the way. Since this is a family business talk show type of thing, a podcast, but my father did not get along with his brother. They had basically a divorce in business, two businesses that split apart. And when one was out of the business, the other was able to take back full control of what they wanted to do in fencing. So once my uncle was out of the picture, my father was able to do other products in fencing, not just the privacy slats, but the chain link, the wood, and then PVC became popular right around the time when University of Hartford said to me, "You might want to go work for your father." That's when I got into fencing full time. I've been climbing ladders and jumping around the shop since I was a toddler. All the ins and outs of the place. It's amazing how things still surprise me in this place to this day. So, and that's what, like you said, nationally, we do supply products to defense companies all around the country. Uh, we've done jobs as far as the Middle East. We really don't know where our products go a lot of times. I've done Toyota Racetrack. I've
Oh,
done Universal Studios. My products have been on SNL, Saturday Night Live. So, yeah,
wow.
in TV shows, movies.
Wait, did you
Uh,
recognize your fence on SNL? Did you see it and say, "Oh my God, that's mine"?
no, actually, that was really, they called us and said, hey, we need it for this weekend.
That's amazing.
So we got it over to them.
That's great.
Uh, and the funniest is, in, a Rodney Dangerfield, movie, um, Easy Money, when he's singing in the backyard of Staten Island, and you could see all the backyards for like 2 blocks. You could see our product in almost every fence, and it's hysterical. Uh, so
Yeah, see, that's something in 10 minutes I would not have thought or learned. That's
yeah,
amazing, right? That
yeah,
like you say, "Oh, my cars are in movies." You say, "No, no, my
right,
fences are in show business." I love that so
yeah,
much.
yep,
That's amazing.
yeah. I'm part of my fence association, which is the American Fence Association, but there is a chain link manufacturers association also, and we were just talking about how chain link is so important in this world, and how it's been seen in movies like the West Side Story and
Mm,
in main scenes and just different things throughout TV history, and how it is a major part of our society.
yeah. It's
So
so funny because now that I think about it, Gershon, and both as a child, you would claim, those fences, right? And it was kind of,
yeah,
and it was exciting, kind of,
oh yeah,
and you flip over to the top. And so it is kind of part of my childhood, the chain link fence. I never thought of it that way,
sure.
but it's true.
And we make this product that goes into chain link fence.
Oh,
And this, even though I'm a Met fan, this was in
ah.
Yankee Stadium around the bullpen.
Oh, that's in the bullpen now?
No, in the previous stadium.
Got it. Okay. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah,
Holy moly. Gershon, you
yeah.
know what this means too? As much as I want to talk about movies and everything, we probably also have to ask about tariffs, right? Because I guess that unfortunately or fortunately has affected the way you do business, I presume.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is most of your business domestic or the big part
So
international?
there's a pretty good split. Uh, a lot of products that are made here that I try to stick to, partially because of my fear of over forecasting and having too much or not getting material fast enough,
Mm,
and really trying to make good connections with good companies locally, and I mean when I say locally, national vendors who are local, and to make my supply chain a little easier. I don't need to be the king of fence and product. I only have the 40,000 square foot building in Long Island. That is stacked to the roofs, to the ceiling with material. So, you know, I'd like to spread it out with vendors and let them service product to me as fast as they can. So I'm not just my own little island here and trying to be everything to everybody by myself. I've had a competitor or two over the years. They try to do that, and they bring it and want to do everything in house, and it just becomes harder and harder. So that's where we are.
Interesting. So you said your uncle was part of the business
Yeah.
originally. Now, did he keep the hardware store business? How did that go?
So every story has two sides, and I know how I acted with my father. We did not get along, so um, but And the funniest is like we did go to a therapist one point, and when we went to the therapist to try and hash things out, we had the bloodiest screaming match
Yeah.
ever, and we walk out of that place. I'm all angry. He could care less. And next thing he knows, he's like, "You want to go to friendlies?" I'm like, "Of course." So it's like you could go screaming at your parents and go back and forth, but at the end of the day, it changes. It's like a normal reaction, and you just go on, you move on, and get back to work.
Yeah.
Then, what else? Yeah. So I don't know if my uncle was able to see that or have that connection with my dad. My dad was a little different. When you see somebody, and my mother and my sister and I laugh about this, you see how harsh like someone like President Trump is and how he is. That was a lot like how my father was. Not so much like the I hate to say it, but the gaudy like gold everything and stuff like that. My dad was not like that. He liked a Wendy's potato better than a potato from the best steakhouse in New York. So it's like he was not glitzy like that, but the harshness when talking to somebody and whatever was on his mind, he said, and that's something like I guess we're like that more here than anywhere else in the country, but um, it was a different character, and I think it's that New York, that Brooklyn or Queens or the five boroughs attitude that we all have and we've grown up with. So it's a little different.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Mike,
so
I'm from LA and I just moved here like maybe a year and a half ago, so it's a lot different. Yeah. I love it, but it's a lot different.
so
In
my
LA,
mom,
nobody tells you how they feel. At least here, I know exactly how most people feel 99% of the time.
so my mom was born in the Bronx, moved out to LA, went to
Oh,
UCLA,
wow.
and she got out of UCLA and moved back right away. She had to be back in New York.
That's amazing. That's so great.
So when my dad passed, my mom took over the business.
Oh, wow.
I run it for her as it's 100% mine, but she basically tells me or gets on my nerves if I've ordered too many carry cups for the office. But I could buy like truckloads of material, but she won't even blink an eye on that. Sort of does, but it's more the why do we need that many cups of coffee here? Why didn't you buy them from Costco?
I love that.
So
Well,
yeah.
she's always going to be your mom, and that's what they do, right? That's that's just the way it is.
So yeah,
But she's kind of like she's like an activist shareholder in the business,
yeah, definitely.
and you're the CEO.
Yeah. Yeah.
And are there other family members in the business as well, Mike?
No, just
Okay,
myself.
just
Do you
you.
want
Okay.
other family members in the business?
I don't know.
One's
Um,
enough. You and
How
your mom is enough, huh?
oh yeah.
would you encourage your kids to join? How do you talk to them about that?
So yeah, yes and no. My daughter loves this place. Since she was turning sales orders into invoices in QuickBooks years ago. It's a little more complicated. My new ERP system that it's the bane of my existence, but it's a little different, a little tougher. But I think she'll get there one day. She'll probably be around here. My son, uh, he's about to go to college next year, and I said you could always mess up and come back to work for your dad also. So but I think he's going to go much further. And I tried to tell him, I mean, this is an amazing industry that we're in, and there's just so much possibility. It doesn't have to be just, selling wholesale dense products. We have everything from accounting in our industry to um, AI, like the IT stuff that's website building, marketing, products, you name it, it's in our industry, and it is, we're we're a high technology industry, without realizing it. People don't realize like the gate automation, that's in our industry. It's just there's endless possibilities, with solar, So like
And
it's
switching gears a little
So
bit to the question that everyone's asked, because you read every story about it, but how on the ground for you, how have tariffs kind of impacted how you do day to day? How's your bottom line? How do you adjust to it? How do you live in the world of kind of uncertainty a little bit?
sure. So surprisingly, it is tough because, um, a lot of like, for instance, let's take PVC fencing. Um, the tariffs are there, but the Chinese government's definitely subsidizing
Mm,
the companies, so the pricing is still lower compared to American products.
that's
So
crazy. Wow.
it's good and it's bad because there's so many vendors, making PVC nowadays. It's it's hard to, I'm with this one vendor who's American made, and my customer base can buy import from overseas cheaper than I could buy it and resell it. So it makes it tougher. But I have a product that I'm happy to sell. You'll say that it doesn't have lead in it, or um, something, or it fails because it turns yellow on them. It's a it's the security of knowing that I could go back to my vendor and say, hey, you got a problem here with a problem, where they don't have that. But uh, well,
there's a famous
there's a famous
business
business
term
term.
of when there's what do they say? It's like when there's a lack of clarity on the value, then that's where price becomes an issue. So I think that's what you're talking about, is saying, well, my stuff isn't going to become yellow and my stuff isn't going to be dangerous and all that. It, how does that get communicated to the clients? Like you said, they could go overseas and buy it cheaper. Do they realize that they're entering into those murky waters overseas?
So it's the price point that my customer doesn't really care about, and it does not get translated down to the homeowner. A homeowner is like, I don't care. I just want a fence around my house. And they don't really mm, look that further than the fact that they're getting a white PVC fence at that moment, and it's going to be around their house, and they don't realize the repercussion down the line of the quality of the product. Is it going to change over years? Is that contractor going to be able to get the same product to replace if there's a problem? And that happens even in the big box stores. The big box stores might have something in 2023 that they don't have in 2026, because they might change a vendor, and now they don't have it. And where I try to keep relationships for a long time and keep the same products on the ground here. So
The ultimate customer is not really discerning, it sounds like, because they don't even
right,
know.
that's
So
the
it's really
problem.
about dealing with ethical contractors
Exactly.
Mm.
who want to be able to stand by their product or want to do right by their customer or whatever it is. So you got it. So it's like a B2B value type
Yeah.
of discussion.
But Mike, you guys, the company will do like an actual install of someone's house as well, though, right? Like someone could walk
No,
in.
we don't install.
None of that at all. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
And I take it you have no interest in doing that because that's a whole other world.
Yeah, it's definitely a different lane. It's
Yep.
some people do it. There are companies around here who they are installers, but they're also wholesalers. And uh, but I got enough aggravation and not enough
Yeah.
hair on my head.
Right. That's great. And switching gears a little bit away from kind of the economics of the price of fencing and the business, I always like to ask this question. Probably Gershon's going to roll his eyes because it literally is one of my favorite. Is like, if not for this, if not for the hardware store, if you weren't born into this family, what is your dream? Like, what do you think you would have done, or do you even still think about doing right now? But you're so busy and being successful in the business. But what is your dream? You think?
Well, my go-to answer, hope it's not too crazy for you guys, but I always say I used to dance, but the hours were terrible. But no, I'm basically bred into fencing, and I have absolutely no idea what else I could have possibly done.
Wow.
It's a little crazy. I do enjoy not so much race cars, but classic cars and things like that. I've always had a love for Ford Broncos, and now that they came back out,
Yeah,
I'm very
that's
happy to
right.
see them
Yeah.
again. So the auto body industry, not I don't know, like I always auto would be something I guess I would love to be in, but I did love graphic art. I've always
Oh.
loved marketing.
Hmm.
That's when my mother forced me to go back into school while I was working here, so I was doing graphic art. But at the time, I was learning animation. At the same time, kids were building websites in high school. I was like, well, this is never going to happen. I do try to pull the marketing into this business as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I love that. So even when Mike retires, it's still going to be fencing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Become a fence philosopher.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just
So I have a friend actually who's an attorney, and he told me that what he tells his kids is if you, and I love attorneys for anyone listening, but this is my friend, the attorney I'm quoting. He said, tell me, he tells his kids in high school that if they don't apply themselves and study hard, they'll have no choice but to become an attorney. So, it's always
I like that.
interesting to
I
hear
never heard
how,
that. That's really
well,
good.
it's his, I probably lots of parents say it about what they do. It's
True.
funny to hear it from an attorney because usually like there's a lot of education and people think of that as like a goal.
Yeah.
I guess for him, it wasn't, not really
Right.
sure.
Right.
Um,
That's amazing. I
he's
like that.
actually part of a family business. His wife has a family business and he worked there for a while. Maybe we should get him as a speaker.
Get him on the
He'll,
show.
he'll be very entertaining as well.
And
Um,
then the other question, Mike, you alluded to this a little bit, but like, show can't go on without talking about AI in terms of either whether it's customer service for you guys, how you design the fence. Are you using it on a day-to-day basis that you think is impactful, or do you find it to be more of a pain?
Um, actually, we're applying it to our new website. There are things that are starting to. Uh, I mean, it's like every couple of weeks, something pops up that now AI could do and make our life even easier.
Yeah.
And but I definitely use like a ChatGPT
Yep.
for multiple reasons, and created projects thanks to it, where um, laying out plans and processes. Uh, and that is something that years ago I didn't even think about, but more and more it's how to make processes in your business that are really you got to stick to and will make your business move that much better
Yeah.
down the
I
line.
love that you said that. Gershon knows I'm a process guy. They're a little bit boring, but without it, it's kind of like you walk into the business and you kind of do the same. You reinvent yourself every day. Hard to
Right.
hire new people without a process. Um, so standard operating procedures kind of become very important.
Yeah.
And AI is a great place to kind of help along. What normally would have taken weeks and months could take you a lot less time um, with that. So I'm happy you're doing that. I mean, it's just easier for you to kind of and have people around you as well.
Well, that's the thing. And if my office sees this podcast, they're going to slap me and be like, we've been telling you this for probably years now. but But yeah, there are processes that need to be played in
Yeah.
place and running. Um, Sometimes a little hesitant to do things. Sometimes I feel like it might bite us on the rear if we start something, and it just makes life, it might be harder later on, but that's why I fear to do it. But then I look back and I said, huh, I should have been doing it.
Yeah. I always tell people, if it makes you feel better, a process is horrible when you're trying to set it up. And then when it's set up, I hope normally you're like, okay, I'm happy I did that. That was probably a good idea, you know? So that's great.
And the truth is, it's difficult, and sometimes the people aren't willing to play ball with your new
Mm,
process, but
that's a good point, Gershon.
sometimes
Yep.
that helps surface who are the people that aren't really. If you assume you have to get there eventually, then these people are going to eventually not work out, and
Yeah.
you kind of figure that out sooner than later, and
Yeah.
you'll figure out who are the people who can help with this and take it to the next level, and who are the ones who just aren't into that. And
Yeah. That is a good point. That's a very, very good point.
so, and I know that in EOS, I don't know if you familiar with EOS, either of you? No.
Might be
Now look
on
at,
it.
see,
I'll
Gershon does this every show. He gets out there and he says, hey, we don't, you familiar with this thing? And then
I'll give.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Mike's like, no.
Uh,
Efficiency,
I-
efficiency.
it's called entrepreneurial operating system.
Oh, you told me about this.
And
Yeah.
they have an approach for how you hire, how you fire,
Mm,
how to run a meeting, all that stuff. But they're very into this concept that if you build things the way you want them to be, in the right way, in the way that's sustainable, people will self-select out. They
mm,
say that about their have core values too. It's not just about process. They're like, define your core values, share your core values, and the people who aren't into that stuff, they'll realize that this isn't going to work. Like,
yeah.
let's just say that, I don't know, honesty is a core value. And, internally at Imperial, we always, not always, but from time to time, we debate like what's what we call table stakes. Like, you got to have that. Like, that's not even a value that we're going to discuss as a value. And then then there's like, what's our company core values? So, like, I don't know where honesty falls, but if honesty is your thing and you have people who like to be able to bend the truth, and like, okay, great, they'll realize that this isn't the kind of place where we bend the truth. And if it's core for you enough to talk about and to make a big deal about, then it'll be non-core enough for those other people to walk away from. And
Yeah.
you know you have to pick which are the things you want to take a stand on, but the resulting impact might really be a good thing if those are actually the important issues that you're addressing. Um, anyway,
It's
Yep. No, I like that a lot. Mike, where do you see, are all the lines of fencing? Are you guys looking at doing another kind of business other than, like, what would be, if someone was getting into the fencing industry, which I don't do it because Mike's got about 100% control of it and he's going to send someone to take care of it. But if you did want to get into fencing, what are the next kind of things that are going on in fencing? I mean, I'm up here in Lloyd Harbor. The only thing I think about is the deer. How do I keep the deer out of my yard? Uh,
uh,
but other than that, what are kind of like the next things that are happening in the fencing industry?
new trends. Seems to be like the wood grain PVC fences are becoming more popular, like a black PVC fencing, which is hysterical to me. That I actually was just asked for a camouflage privacy slap for chain link.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, well, it's good for repeat business when the truck hits that fence, but like, but I guess you
Camouflage. Oh,
nobody
what are they doing over there that they want to camouflage?
exactly,
Right.
but it was somewhere in Michigan. The guy was looking for that,
Hmm.
and yeah, and yeah, wood grains are getting more popular, making the fence look more like a wood tone than white PVC.
Mhm.
Aluminum, horizontal aluminum fencing, where it's privacy, but it's like a solid PVC, or with spacing, very popular nowadays. What else? we're doing more hand railings in aluminum. The decking world is um, during COVID or before COVID, we were doing very well with like outdoor furniture and stuff, and
Yeah.
that just that dried up a little because of there was a fatigue after COVID where people
Hmm.
were not doing as much in their house. But gazebos and just anything for the backyard that could enhance it. We've been starting to dabble in a little bit besides just your run-of-the-mill fencing.
How about custom logo fencing?
Custom logo fencing, there's been a couple um, tries at that, but that's like more of like the sign industry.
That's true, isn't it? You're right.
They've tried to do like wrapping the
Mm.
fence,
Hmm.
windscreens that have
Hmm.
logos on them that we
Yeah.
sell. And so it's out there.
Yeah.
There is a company out of Florida who really will print up the logos on like take a sports team and you could apply that to your fence or a beach scene for your pool. So
Yeah. That's commitment if you have a fence with the Jets or whatever on it, I would say,
yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
serious commitment.
yeah,
My wife would kill me.
yeah,
I'm a Raiders fan. I'm from LA. So if I had a
yeah.
Raiders logo on the fence to the house, that would be it.
Oh yeah,
We'd be done.
yeah.
So did you get training in terms of back to the family a little bit? Did you get training in like how to run a business, or you were kind of just like, well, you're part of the family, so you kind of know what to do.
So that's the thing. There's definitely trial by fire. Just go out there, do it. Um, it was there were times where, you again, like maybe without even knowing it, I was trying to emulate other wholesalers who might have been larger than us, and when I went over to their places and saw and how clean they were operating, and I just wanted to be sort of like their company. Um, I tried to bring that back to our company. So there was a lot of arguments about that. Well, not like Orange County Choppers,
Oh,
where
that's a great show. I
like
love that show.
the father and son would fight about what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had our moments of I want paperwork this way. No, it must be on the clipboard that way. How to run a shop, how to keep things organized in the shops. Was I taught? I think just overhearing my dad talking to customers and vendors, I might have picked up a little bit here and there on that sense. I don't think my father ever sat down and said, "This is how you're supposed to do it," kind of thing. I might have just stood by him at the counter and figured out every training job with him, or as we decided to get into making a product, we actually went out to buy the machine, and he asked me, "Do I want to get involved in this?" And I was like, "Yeah." One time, the craziest was I must have been 16, 17 years old when PVC was starting to get hot, and we drove up to Saratoga. We saw somebody fabricating the PVC, and we were like, "This is not gonna go over well." And turns out it is. It's like majority of our business now. So
Oh, when you first saw PVC, you were like, there's
yeah,
no way anyone's going to install this.
yeah, because they were hoisting it up into a farmhouse and fabricating upstairs, and like this just seems so backwards and a light material, but it was out there. It was starting to pick up, and we just didn't see an opportunity because we were so heavily involved in chain link. So, but then we got the calls for it, and it just started to morph into something that was much more needed around here.
What kind of calls are you getting now?
What kind of
Something
calls?
Are you getting called? That's a very nice way to innovate and drive your business. It's like, well, once we're getting the calls, now we know that that's a need, and now you don't have to do market research. The market came to
Mm,
you.
Exactly.
mm.
And that's where the aluminum, privacy aluminum fencing has come into light. Um, the wood grains, um, aluminum hand railing that we started to do more of in the last couple of years. On our own, not so much bringing in from a vendor. We now have our own handrail made. So it's yeah, sometimes it becomes where you need to control it more on your own than letting um, which is like contradicting what I said earlier about trying not to do everything on your own. But it's there are points where it's like, well, you know, it's gotten to a point where it is in your face on a daily basis. You got to do it, and there is a call for it, and that's where you're drawn to. And another product might drop off. So,
Now, do you end up with the market shifting quickly and you're just stuck with a lot of product you don't want, or
um,
you kind of
I
sell
would,
out and move
yeah, I
on?
wouldn't say. I mean, would I like to be selling a little bit more of everything I have here? Without a doubt. Um, do I have to be my own salesman here because we seem to have a hard time keeping a true outside salesperson? We've only had two in our history of our company, and that is not fun. But trying to change that. So um, yeah, and it's just knowing what all your customers need and how to apply today's technology into helping you move that forward. Yeah, we don't have not too many products are sitting here that are obsolete in the sense that they wouldn't sell because we might have an actually a slat that's aqua or redwood is not moving as fast as it used to. We have a teal slat that's not moving like they used to, and Florida used to eat it up years ago. They don't do that anymore. So, but yeah, for the most part, our products are here, but need need to move faster maybe. But I just got to get customers to know we have it here.
And
Yeah,
Mike,
so
how
it
many
goes back
employees
to
do you have? Sorry, Gershon. How many
Um,
employees do you guys have?
we were about 30.
30.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked the next question, which is for me more interesting, how often does your mom come in to the
I
office?
It is dropping off dramatically. Last summer she was really not in that much, but she comes in when like the accountant comes in or
Mm,
when insurance comes up, sort of stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
then make sure
or
you have enough coffee
yeah,
and enough coffee cups.
yeah.
Yes,
Or if she knows I'm going to be out of town, then she's like, "Oh, there has to be a lady there." And so
that's great.
yeah,
So 31 employees, really.
yeah, exactly.
Right, right. And one that counts,
Oh
probably
yeah,
your mom.
yeah. So yeah.
You share anything else? Or should we go to the outro?
let's do the rapid fire questions, and
Oh, it's Gershon's favorite.
then we'll do the outro.
He
All right.
loves rapid fire, Mike. You gotta hold on.
Hold
Yeah.
on to your seat. All right.
Hold on.
What is your favorite activity to do with your kids?
Ooh, that's good.
So I always say I have season tickets to watching my son play travel hockey.
Oh,
I
wow.
love watching my kids excel at their sports. My daughter plays tennis. Yeah.
All right. So that's one.
And
Next.
then, yep.
All right. So it's like four more.
Go ahead.
Family activity that you cut out as an adult.
Mm.
Family activity. So the beach club, which I absolutely love, and I need every weekend in the summertime because that's my happy place. It's not so much my kids' happy place anymore, and they've grown out of it. when they went to camps, and now that they're working, like it's just not the same. And to be there without them, it's a little different. So, and that's yeah, that's I don't know what else.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Which of your kids is most likely to be a business mogul?
Oh my God. And that's a good one because my son is absolutely dedicated to the things he does, and he excels at doing them. My daughter is very determined when she's finally wants to do it. Sort of like I was. Like, I don't. I'm the best procrastinator, but when I finally am put to the task to do it, I'll get it complete. And she's like that, well, a lot like me. So I think it's very hard to say which one will be. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know how
Could be
to.
both of them too.
I think then both of them are gonna be successful in the way they are.
One special food you grew up with that makes you nostalgic.
Oh, these are good, Gershon.
It's trafe, but I do love lobster.
Oh,
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I love food. So
Yeah,
artichokes. My mom used to make salmon and artichokes for me since I'm two. So, but yeah, lobster's my go-to.
lobster is good. That got me hungry. I don't know about lobster for breakfast, but now I am.
So don't knock it. I had some leftover in eggs, and it
Oh,
is
did you? Oh, and
pretty.
eggs, yes.
Yeah,
Oh my, that's yep. And eggs lobster is delicious.
yeah.
Wow. But wait, can I ask what are your favorite restaurants then? Because I just moved here, so I need to.
But yeah, my favorite restaurants. Well,
What's your number one favorite? Two, number one or two?
so um, I gotta say, like, I do love Uncle Hal's at which is on the menu at Donacola's in Hewitt.
Mm.
Uh, that's one of my favorites. But I just love a really good steak also. But Jordan's Lobster Farm is definitely an enjoyable place.
Yeah. All right, you're taking me out, Mike. That's it.
Sounds good.
I'm literally hungry. Oh man.
all right. And then the last one. And then we have final reflection after rapid fire. So one
Final
more.
reflection.
Favorite family
Wow,
get together.
So funny thing is, the holidays, not so much the religion part, because I was never good at that. It's the sitting around with the older family members and hearing them discuss everything. That's what really, to me, is religion and culture, is hearing them talk. And I definitely miss that.
yeah,
Get it back.
that's special.
Go to Palm Beach and visit mom.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not the same as when I was younger. My
Mm,
aunts and uncles, and we had
mm,
a very large family back then. Definitely not the same.
Got it.
Yeah.
All
Gershon,
right.
these are really good, by the way.
Thank you. Maybe next time you'll ask them,
Excellent.
and you'll get credit for the good ones. No, but we came up with these. I think we discussed them there. Anyway,
Hey, you're asking him, so I'm giving you credit. Just say
well,
thank you.
thank you.
There you go.
Final reflection. What's one thing the outside world would never guess about your family dynamic?
Mm,
Um, well, I think they know that we stick together, and we're definitely loyal to each other. So uh, maybe I don't know. Uh, I don't know what the outside world would think. And there's nothing too crazy. I mean, we do have a crazy sense of humor together. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that's going to be that. I think we're pretty open. We don't hide much, in sense of they'd be like, "Wow, that's a absolutely weird family." I think we're pretty much like any other family
Well, that's
Mhm.
actually a good way to end, because right before we started, it's like bookends. You're like, I'm an open book. Ask me whatever you
Yeah.
want.
That's
So,
right. That's right. That's right.
so anyway, thank you all for listening to this episode of Bloodlines and Bottomlines. If this conversation resonated with you, or if you know someone who's lived through the complexity of a family business, share this episode with them. It helps more than you know. And if you have a story of your own and would like to be a guest on the show, reach out. Family businesses shape who we are, for better or for worse, and telling these stories matters. Until next time, I'm Gershon,
I'm
and
Robert and Mike.
and we got Mike. Thank you so much, Mike. This is Bloodlines and Bottomlines, where we go beyond the business and into the truth.
Thank you, everybody.